It's the MythWits, a geek pop culture web series, broadcast live for video and audio podcasts. Watch us live at MythWits.com and find us on YouTube and iTunes, bringing you news and reviews about geek pop culture. We have comedy skits, play nerd-tastic games, and provide extensive on-location con coverage. And now, your hosts.
Hello and welcome to the MythWits, and this is a pre-recorded show, as you can't tell, but just so you know, don't ask questions, we're not answering them. Somebody may be online, so you can always try, but unless you see us going, hey, we're actually here, we're not. Tonight we are going to do a Dragon Con wrap-up, and the reason why we're doing the show this way is because when you're watching this right now, there is a good chance I'm in Germany. If my paperwork and everything has gone through, I have.
You got your papers?
My papers, yeah. I have flown across the big pond and am in another country. So anyway, we thought we would talk about Dragon Con because Mike, I, and Allegro. Well, how's I supposed to? I'm actually supposed to do it as Mike, Allegra, and myself, or I, whatever. Anyway. Went to Dragon Con, and so I guess before we go any further, we are of course not safe for work. You know, Mike.
This is like doubly not safe for work. 'Cause this is the Dragon Con recap.
This is a Dragon Con recap.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
is it safe for passports?
Is it safe for passports? I don't know. Do you have your papers?
Get out. We'll see.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Get out of the country. We'll see. So, anyway. Yeah, we're going to talk about Dragon Con. So Dragon Con is in Atlanta, Labor Day weekend every year. 5 zillion people go to it.
5 zillion and 3.
It's basically a media con, I think, is the term now, because it used to be.
Really?
I think that's what it's called now. It's because what is the most thing that they have there? They have cosplay, costumes, right?
That's what I'm there for.
And stars, so like TV stars and movie stars and stuff like that. I mean, that's pretty much it's a costume contest. Our big giant. It's a big Halloween party, or as we like to call it, Mike, Nerdy Gras.
Nerdy Gras. I like the mysticism.
So who wants to go first? Because I figure we can start out talking about our journey to.
Oh yes, the sojourn,
yes.
The Mecca, the trip to Dragon Con.
So
our jihad. Sorry, no, I mean
pilgrimage.
Pilgrimage. What? No,
So Allegra, you go first. Tell us, what is it like for you and Matt to get in the car and drive the few.
Well, we didn't start by issuing any religious edicts.
Fatwas.
It's kind of a religious edict,
we were pretty chill about that, really. Per our usual modus operandi, we were like, okay, we're going to go down Thursday, and then we'll be there, for Thursday through Monday. And the plan was to leave Thursday at about noon. I think we left Thursday at almost midnight. Almost midnight. Not quite, but almost. Because we were like, oh god, there's like so much stuff to finish. So, so we began our scenic journey to Atlanta in the dead of night, and it was pretty boring. I think on the way down, we mostly fan-casted different movies, was how we stayed awake. And planned costumes that we'd like to do.
Yeah, but, I mean, what is it, like a 4-hour drive for you or something? That's like nothing.
It's like 5.5.
Oh,
that's
5.5. You hear
5.5 starting at midnight.
Cute.
Yeah, but that's still a good drive.
5.5. Shut up. Like, listen to you, mister. Right. Oh, my leg hurts. Oh. Pull over. We have to stop. I need my medicine. My arthritis is kicking in. It's 10 hours is too much in the car for me.
The gout is getting to me. Oh, my rheumatism. Right.
Allegra, we left Thursday as well. We left Thursday at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
4 a.m. Yeah. And I tell you though, this was our experience that the trip down went so quick. Leaving at 4 a.m. for us from Baltimore, Maryland, and leaving getting down there. What did we get down there? 3:00 in the afternoon.
2:30, 3. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and I mean, we always get lost right at the last leg of the journey, getting to Bruce's. But it went so quick because for us it was like you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You get a good 4 or 5 hours of like you don't realize the sun isn't up yet, and all of a sudden you have this transition, and then the sun's up. So it was a seemingly shorter journey for us. I liked I like that. The ride home was just like the longest ride ever.
Oh my God! Yeah, it seemed like, and we didn't hit any traffic.
No traffic.
Oh, there she goes.
Allegra will be back.
She'll be back.
She has some connection issues, but
right.
We'll just keep going. Pete, if you think his arthritis and gout was bad on the way down, on the way home, I gotta stop and pee, and then I need something to drink so that I can pee later.
I'm thirsty. I'm parched. Yeah,
we're gonna stop. Let's sit and have something to eat. Sure, you don't want to eat it on the road?
Like,
I'll drive. You want me to drive? No, I'm fine. I'll just get some medicine when we stop next for gas.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You say medicine like I need I need to go to my pharmacist and get my old man medicine. It was Advil. Okay, that's the medicine.
That's old man medicine.
No,
is that old man medicine?
No, it's like muscle medicine.
Yeah, it's good for
headache medicine.
I was just
all purpose.
My sciatica.
Anyway, all right, so why don't we, because you guys got down later in the afternoon, or like a little bit later on Thursday, right?
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, technically.
Okay.
Friday. Yeah, a little later than Thursday.
So since we're going to try and take it in chronological order, why don't we'll talk about how we got down, and then our first event that we sort of participated in was the Atlanta Skeptic Star Party.
Oh, how was that?
That was good.
It was amazing. It was every year we think, oh, it can't get any better for us, both professionally and just the Star Party itself, just what they do and how they do it and everything. But Maria always puts on a great show. We had her on before when she was promoting it, and I think at some point we may just have her on to do a little quick wrap up with that. As well, right, Pete?
Yeah, we could probably do that. We can probably do
about that.
Or maybe even
because we didn't get a chance to interview her. Remember?
Right.
And I'm sure we couldn't have. We didn't get a chance to even get in touch with her about it tonight. Sorry, Maria.
So, we shot video. So maybe when we put that video together, we can do an interview with her and just attach it to that video.
That's a good idea. And for me, I'm gonna say this part, and then I'm gonna turn it over to you, and you give me your impression, Pete. But for me, I think the most memorable thing walking in there, and we felt good. We got down early. You got a nap. I was able to get my old man medication.
I got it. Wait, I got a nap because I was tired.
and then talking about old man medicine, I had to get to the pharmacy because I left town without my prescription, so I had to get a transfer.
Right.
So I was able to get lost on the spaghetti western, freeway in
Okay,
Atlanta.
wait a minute. Let's stop for a second, because so Atlanta.
We're gonna go on our soapbox.
Let's soapbox. All right. So, fuck you, Atlanta, and your goddamn roads. Could you build any more roads? No, really.
Right.
Just
if you built any more roads, there'd be no more grass.
Right.
At all.
Let's just put another 6 fucking layers of roads on there so that my GPS system has a complete heart attack, okay? Because I'm on my GPS system and it's like going down, and all of a sudden it just starts veering off like I'm supposed to be somewhere else. And it's because the line on my GPS showing me where I should be going is too wide to encompass the spaghetti of roads that we're on. The roads below us, the roads I don't know. The roads down there are ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, Atlanta, go fuck your roads. So, off soapbox.
There's plenty to go around. So for me, getting there, we got there early like we had planned from the year before, saying we're tired of coming down here and getting dressed in the fucking garage, after we park from a long 12-hour journey, and then we get dressed and we go into the place like we're sweaty and nasty, and it's like, oh hi, how are you? And it's like
right.
too soon to switch.
That's how you make friends.
Right. Well, that was the first year we went down there, though, and But tell them why we have to change, why we have to get dressed.
Oh, well, it's a formal affair, and a lot of people get dressed up in even like black tie and everything else. But
well, no, that's the thing. It's the reason. That's what I wanted to say was that you have to get dressed up. This is a nice.
Yeah.
It's an adult party, so you have to wear your finest. Is the term. You don't have to wear tuxedos, but it's kind of like suit and tie is expected.
Yeah. There have been years where I've seen that there are people that do wear tuxes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And it's it's kind of fancy schmancy. It's catered and it's not like they're stuffy. It's just an excuse to get dressed up. Like none of those people that are there are stuffy. None of them. Half those people the rest of the weekend are dressed they're dressed in cosplay and stuff.
And all right, so here's my impression. We wanted to do a really good job. We were taking different shots of video that we have, putting this video together that we're going to do hopefully for next year, hopefully helping to advertise for the Atlanta Skeptic Star Party. So we're taking shots of the Emory University campus, and it's like, all right, hey, I'll tell you what, Pete, I'm going to just sit back. I'm going to take a picture of you just walking up to the door, opening the door, and then I'll just kind of come in right behind you. So we do that, and we're just like getting in, and the line happened to have been like right there in front of us, and we get in the line, and all of a sudden we hear, hey, there you guys are. What's up? Hey, man, glad you could make it. And we look over, and it's like, holy shit, Scott Sigler in a crowded room got excited and walked over to us. Like, other people were looking at us going, who the hell are they that Scott Sigler is all excited about them?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, he comes up, and he's like, hey, guys, how you been? It was cool.
Yeah,
it was really
like,
cool.
Oh, my God.
So when he's really famous, that's going to be a moment. That's going to be a real moment. We're going to look back. We're going to be like, it's going to be like the person who can do that with like Stephen King now or whatever. They can go.
Right.
You see that? See that video right there? That's me.
See that?
We can be the true hipsters. So, I knew him before he was cool.
Exactly. So that was kind of cool. The Star Party, all of its grandeur was good.
But Nicole was happy to see us, and Pamela Gay was happy to see it. It was really cool. It was nice. It was really. We have these shots. Some of them have already been posted on our Facebook page, where you see Pamela Gay and Scott Sigler sitting there, both doing the MythWits gang sign, which was one of our missions that we did. That we said we were going to get a lot of people at Dragon Con to take pictures of and videos of. So we have plenty of that. And a real girl, a Kovacs, we got her, doing it, and a lot of people at the party did. It was really cool. Like for the first time, I think you and I both went in there, just really feeling confident, feeling like we belong there. Yeah, not feeling like we're hot shit, but just we felt like we fit. And that was not the case, 4 years ago when we went there for our first time. And we're just kind of like, right.
We are so not cool. It's just, why are we here? Oh, my God. Look who that is. And, to be able to just not only say, look who that is, but to go, oh, hey, look who that is. Or whoever that is came over to us and go, hey, look who it is.
So should we announce now? Like, let's do it. So if you're on you go to our Facebook page and stuff, if you're watching this episode, take pictures, take a selfie, you can't do a selfie because you use both your hands. All right, so let's scratch that. But have someone take a picture of you giving the MythWits sign. All right, so it's the I'm gonna get this in the camera. It's the asshole symbol, but like this.
It's 4 fingers and thumbs touching.
Yep. MythWits.
And then MW.
So if you post those on our Facebook page, and we'd love to see you guys doing that. That'd be awesome.
Mine was skewed when I did it for a picture, so mine's like Wit Myths.
Right. That's fine.
I was gonna say something that would look perfect if you actually take that image and rotate it.
There we go.
From right to left.
Photoshop trickery. Let's do this.
It'll be MW instead of the WM.
Totally intentional.
I'll just invert it. So there she goes again. That's all right. She'll be back. Like a bed bug.
We love you, Allegra. And she's back.
I'm gonna stab my internet connection in the face.
That's fine.
Like, I'm gonna find its face and I'm gonna stab it.
Listen, if Matt is in the other room watching porn, downloading porn while you're on here, I mean, he can wait 1 hour, okay?
Right.
Tell him. Stop it.
Either that or tell him finish up, man.
Yeah, hurry up or wait.
Right, yeah.
Well, he's at work, so whatever he's doing now is up to him, really.
Okay. All right, okay.
Oh.
All right, so
okay, we get there, we do that. We go home feeling pretty jazzed. Tell us, Allegra, from now. Let's pick up from when you got there. You guys had got a hotel room. Where did you guys stay?
Oh, we were at the Aloft in Atlanta. It's about 2 blocks from the Hyatt, and we were one of the people who got screwed over by the Hilton when they promised us reservations that did not happen. And so we booked the Aloft on the recommendation of another friend who just heard about it. And they're a pretty new hotel, so they haven't been befouled by, years of convention goers. So we got there, we're like, oh, this is pretty nice. Like, oh, they're all like, very mod and stylish, and their staff has, this is their first Dragon Con, so they're still like all excited to see everybody.
They're not burned out like everyone at the Hilton Hyatt.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember ever seeing that hotel there like the previous years, because we park all over and we walk in. So it's a new hotel. Just went
they opened in April, I think.
Sweet. And you were able to get a room.
Yeah.
When did you book that room?
We booked. I want to say we booked it in maybe February or March. Okay. I don't remember. And they've got 2 options. Like, you can book it with a flex rate, which allows you to cancel it literally up until the week before, with no penalty. And then, but if you lock it in, if you know you're gonna be there and you lock it in super in advance, it's way cheaper.
So what would that price be? Just out of curiosity, if other people.
Oh God, some people were saying it was $99 a night.
Man, Pete and I maybe stay at a loft.
Yeah,
next year.
Yeah, I have a feeling that's going to be the new one that everyone fights over reservations for, because it was just fantastic. There's so many people we knew there. It was wonderful.
I got to tell you, driving in from Bruce's every day is a bitch, and driving back. I mean, look.
Yeah.
Hats off to Bruce. Thanks for having us. It's awesome. I mean, I'm not.
Thanks for putting up with these guys.
Right. Seriously, I'm not looking a gift horse in the mouth at all for that. I mean, thank you, Bruce. Totally. It's such a cool thing for him to do. But at the same time, with us filming and trying to cover stuff, we never get to the parade. That never happens. There's no way. Because, we get, if we leave at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's about 40 minutes to Bruce's house?
Yeah, at least if we hit no snags on the GPS, which is rare, then
yeah.
Then yeah. It's at least a half hour, 35 minutes or so, and
so then we get back and his dog's like oh. So by the time we get to sleep and all that's done, it's 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and then you got to get a couple hours of sleep, and you get up in the morning and get showers and get ready and all that kind of stuff, and then try to drive back down and then find parking and stuff. There is no way we can make the parade.
Like between us, you and I have individual and different, but substantially different morning routines that tend to eat time. So between whatever I do that eats up time, times whatever you do that eats up time, times whatever that is, if it's happening on the road that we're getting lost or trying to make stops to get
breakfast and
Daddy had to have his coffee.
Right.
Daddy had to have his coffee every morning. You know what I'm saying?
And Mike doesn't just have.
You wouldn't like him without his coffee.
Mike doesn't just have to have coffee. He has to have his Starbucks.
Oh. Does he get the triple venti mocha frappuccino with no whip and green tea?
All right, I'm gonna hold that. We're
gonna hold that thought until she comes back.
I'm gonna tell her what I get.
Wait a minute, I go first. Wait a minute. I get to go first.
Go ahead.
He'll get the frou-frou girly drink, right? He says, "Give me the rainbow, the whole rainbow." And then
shut the fuck up.
But then he'll get 4 shots of espresso in it. So, torque that bitch up.
It's a venti quad peppermint mocha. White.
Oh, I was so close.
So yeah, but
I was just throwing out random buzzwords, and I almost got your order.
Hey, Mike, where's your soundboard? You need to play the one that goes fag.
I don't have that one.
Oh, okay.
There's no such thing. Not a homosexual. drink. It is a purely metrosexual drink. I'm sure homosexuals are welcome to drink it as far as metrosexual. Not that I'm very metrosexual. I'm pretty much of a schlub. But
you could take your shirt off. That'd be all right.
Yeah, all right. But I need 4 shots. I get 4 shots in there, so it's kind of like, give me the rainbow, really deep colors, you know.
What's funny is he goes in there, I'll have this, and I go, I'd like a large coffee. I don't do the venti bullshit. I don't even play their game. I want a large coffee. And they're like...
And they're looking at you like, and
do you
what?
want a tall?
And I go...
Do you want a grande?
No, I'm like, no, I want a large coffee.
See that cup over there?
Yeah, the big one.
Take that, walk over to that there coffee pot and pour coffee in it. Well, what about all this equipment we have over here, sir? I don't know. Use it to make his.
Yeah, use it to make his girly drink. Bring out his skirt and make him a drink.
Dude, the whole point is
It's called a kill.
we have morning routines that get us down there. Like if we leave Bruce's, at 10, we're still not getting to the con until 11:30. Okay.
Right.
I don't know. I feel you.
Right. Because we stop and get breakfast and stuff. Because we know once we get down to the con, it's like you're not going to find a decent breakfast anywhere, unless you go to like the diner, and then you might as well have stopped somewhere else anyway.
Yeah, the diner was like unbelievably full every hour of the day this time, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was no break in that I saw. Yeah. All right, so anyway, so you got down. What's the first thing you did, Allegra? Where did you guys go and do first? Do you go out and just get your feel around and walk around and just see the con first, or do you actually jump into an activity right out the gate?
We went to the pool.
Okay.
That's how I like to start my Dragon Con. Like, just go to the pool, chill out.
That's nice.
It was a good start. And so then after that, I don't remember what we did. There was a lot of last-minute costuming in our hotel room, which everybody swore up and down they were not going to be doing this year. I'm not gonna name names, but somebody gave me a talk about how I should not be finishing my costumes in the room at the last minute, and then that same somebody was in there like wiring electronics together and like gluing shit, and I was like,
my God.
Hey, just cough if his first name rhymes with bat.
No, he has given up all hope that costumes will be finished before we get down to the con. So, that's good.
Okay, it was a certain somebody
Realistic
else.
Expectations, yeah,
Okay.
somebody else. Yeah, so pretty much.
Did you guys share a room?
Huh?
You guys share a room with someone else, or was just you two in the room?
Oh no, we shared a room with several people, multiple people. I'm not gonna say how many people. It was definitely only for a loft hotel. If you're listening to this. But,
okay. Wink, wink. We got you.
Right.
Yeah. So we had quite a few people in there. It was wall-to-wall costumes. And then we had some people who were just using our room as like a staging area because they weren't staying on site. They were locals, so at night they could just go back to their apartment. But when they were at the con, they wanted to like drop by and change or whatever, and so they'd stash all their stuff in our room. So it was pretty packed.
Pete, we need to find some very nice maybe people on the show that would let us do that in their rooms.
Pretty handy.
Hey,
well,
actually,
Mike, I'm serious with this aloft. If we in the next month or two, maybe I'll reserve a room for Friday and Saturday night, and then that way we can stay on site at least those 2 nights.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because it's within walking distance, right? And we got all this gear, and we're trying to cover all this shit, and it's just like it would be nice. And not only that, but like when Mike and I go down there, we're stuck being there at the same time. So let's say Mike is like 1 o'clock. He's like, dude, I am fucking done. 1 a.m. And I'm like, nah, man, I want to party some more. Or other way around, maybe I'm done and he wants to hang out more. We could that would be no problem. Would not be an issue. Like, and also when we leave the Monday morning, we got to get back to Bruce's and all that kind of stuff. Like the party we went to, which we'll talk about at the end of the show because the last thing we did, the party we went to, I totally wanted to stay. I wanted to stay so bad, but I was tired and kind of burned out.
Mm-hmm.
But I was ready to leave because I knew I had to drive back to Bruce's. If I just had to walk to my hotel room, which was just down the road, that would have been That would have been awesome. I could have stayed and could have had fun.
Dude, I would have considered doing that too. I would have considered staying there and just kind of enjoying it a little more if I knew that were the case. But I knew that the case was we were gonna have to get up as soon as possibly early that we could in the morning to leave, and we were already burned out, and we already had to go to be all the way back up at Bruce's. So it was whatever it was gonna be. It was gonna be an hour before we got to sleep.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I wanted to just at least. Just knowing all that, it was like I was just burned. But I had a great time filming, and I hope all the footage we got. Were you able to look at some of that stuff?
I looked at some of it. It was interesting. Well, let's talk about that when we get to that. All right.
All right. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah. You're jumping the gun here. All right. So we're there Friday, and we didn't do anything Friday in particular, right? We just kind of hung out, I think.
Yeah.
There was no.
Tried to get a hold of Allegra.
Yeah. So what did you guys do Friday? You guys had a thing Friday, didn't you? Did you have a photo shoot or anything on Friday, or was that Saturday?
All blur now. We did a bunch of photos. That was pretty much. This was Dragon Con, colon photo shoot extravaganza. It was like all weekend. We were just running from one shoot to another.
That's cool. So how does
it was terrible. It was a terrible idea. Like we did not really get to see much of the con. I saw the dealer's room and the artist alley in under 3 hours on Monday, as everyone's like borderline, packing up. Like they're just standing, the artists are like at their table, but they're only there because they have to be, and they're out of business cards, and it's Monday, and they're all hungover.
Right.
So what made this time for you, what made this time different for you that you were just so, I don't want to say obligated, but you were just so inundated with photo shoots and just all that stuff? Was it a lot of business and just a lot of, or was it more social, or did you just happen to have signed up with a lot of stuff that you?
It was a little bit of both.
Okay.
Organic Armor tapped me to do Maleficent, which was really cool, and so they were doing a meetup with a bunch of people in Maleficent costumes. And then we decided to do 2 League of Legends photo shoots. That's the game that I'm really into right now. And
all right, so I put that picture up. This is I don't know. It's not the pool party because it looks like you're on steps, but it looks like all these cave people. Right.
Okay, that's Nidalee.
Okay.
She's a character from League of Legends, and she's got a spear and she kills you with it. Painfully.
Okay. Well, that's what spears are good for. They're good for that.
They are really good for that.
I've never.
I don't know. We just
normally
we come to Dragon Con and we just kind of dick around and it's like whatever. And then this year we kind of had a feeling it was going to be our last Dragon Con for a while. So I was like, oh, well, let's make the most of it and overplanned everything. Yeah, was that a bad time to drop that in there?
Okay, so you're not going next year?
I don't think so. It's not like
you are so going next year. What? Hey, if the MythWits are getting an award or like a big thing, you're going.
No, well then you guys will have like a little cardboard cutout of me that you drag up to the stage, and you're like, oh, good job, Allegra.
Yeah, Mike, what you're forgetting is like this year you didn't do Gen Con, right? But you normally do. This year you didn't do Gen Con, but you normally do, right?
Yeah, August is usually a pretty busy month for us.
Right, and Gen Con is like 2 weeks before Dragon Con, so to do Gen Con and Dragon Con is a tall order. That's tough.
Yeah, we were kind of thinking like because Dragon Con eats up so much time. We were kind of thinking like maybe we'll go do another con next year. Like I still haven't been to San Diego Comic-Con. I've never been to any of the Comic-Cons.
Right.
BlizzCon would be cool. I haven't been to any of the PAXs yet. So there's a lot of other stuff I'd like to do, and Dragon Con just kind of like eats up all of the vacation time that would go towards other cons.
And then there's like
taking a break.
MegaCon down in, is it Tampa?
Orlando.
Orlando, okay. MegaCon, which I hear is pretty awesome. Which might be.
That's a good one.
Mike and I just.
You guys want to go to Orlando?
Well, I could. It's funny. I have a client. One of the clients that for my business his office is in Orlando. I could maybe squeeze a meeting in around that time and get my flight paid for, but probably
Nice.
not. Probably not. It never works out that way. So So Mike and I we go to Dragon Con every year because it's just we know so many people that go, and it's our chance to hang out with them, which is why we're always in the Hilton bar.
Hilton, where nobody is.
That's right. Oh, you can always find us there.
Right. Just can't find Allegra there ever.
I was there the year we stayed.
I ain't trying to say. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. So you did these photo shoots. Now this is a question I have. How does this happen? Is it online groups, like online cosplay groups that you meet up with and you guys discuss when you're going to have the shoot and stuff? Because and I'll tell you where I'm going with this. So I go out there and I see all these people on the steps, right? And it's obviously all the Marvel people, and they show up and they get up on the steps, and the guy's taking pictures of all of them. And then they all get down, and then all the DC people get up and they take pictures, and they get down, and then anime people get up and they take pictures. So this must be. Is there like an organization? Is this done through Dragon Con, or is this sort of separate from it, or how does that work? What are these people doing this?
They're mostly coordinated through Dragon Con, and of course they have like the Facebook groups and stuff, so people can chat beforehand. One of the shoots I did, the first League of Legends shoots, the one where we're on the steps.
Right.
That was like more or less coordinated with Riot and Dragon Con.
Okay.
And then the second one I did was put together more by the costumers and not as much coordinated with Dragon Con, and we ended up running into a lot of problems with it.
Okay. So, do they have like specific photographers and stuff? Because I saw this one guy, an Asian guy in long black hair, and he's got his laptop and he's running around with his cameras and stuff, and he's pointing to the other photographers and stuff and telling them what to do. And like, are there like well-known photographers that do cosplay photography? I mean, are they like? Is that a thing?
Oh, my sweet innocent little lamb!
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Yeah,
we would have liked to have caught up with you to learn all this.
You know where's a good place to do that? The Marriott, where all the costumers are.
Okay.
We saw plenty of costumers at the Hilton. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you saw the stragglers, man.
Right, we
Everyone
did.
was out in the Marriott.
You're right. When it comes to the cosplay action, the Hilton is not the place for that. That is all right. So Mike, let's face it. Look, that's where the old white guys go to do the science, because that's where the science track is, and the
science and
the skepticism and the stuff that old white guys like us are into, podcasters, right? That's where the podcast tracks are and everything. So that's where we hung out mostly, because that's the people we know.
That's right.
What can we say? So, all right. So there's. I imagine there's a hierarchy. The reason why I asked that is I assume that's the way it was. I mean, I figured that's usually how that works. So there are guys and gals that are well known for their photography skills with cosplayers and stuff. Much the same way.
Well known and highly sought after. People will
really?
try to book shoots with them at conventions,
Wow,
which apparently they're not actually allowed to do anymore. There's a lot of kerfuffle going around right now in regards to like photographers booking shoots at conventions with cosplayers, because the conventions are trying to like crack down on that, because they're like, well, you don't have a dealer pass or whatever, like you're not supposed to be making money off of people at this thing.
Right, yeah, okay.
So they're trying to keep photographers from doing that, but I don't know how successful it is.
Okay.
I guess that's a double-edged sword. I mean, there's fairness on both sides and unfairness, I guess.
I mean, it's kind of like, the cosplayers show up because they want their pictures taken, for one, and that adds value to the whole Dragon Con experience for everybody. So they show up so they can get their pictures taken. So if Dragon Con cracks down on that and they're like, nobody can take pictures of anybody like that, then your cosplayers are less likely to show up in the droves that they show up, or at least it's a deterrent of some sort. And then the people who go to just people watch and see this whole thing, or to go in costume and hang out with other people who cosplay, it's going to diminish there. So I think it's beneficial to everybody. I don't know. You're right. It's kind of a tricky.
It's win-win or lose-lose.
Right.
Yeah, like I really think it's meant to be more of a symbiotic relationship, because like, I mean, the photographers aren't like they're not making just so much cash that they're just like rolling around in it all weekend. You know, they're helping pay back their costs, their expenses for coming to the con. And basically what the con gets in return is free advertising. Because those beautiful photos you see of like the epic Marvel shoots, or the, you know, like they found some like cool spot and they took a picture of some like gorgeous cosplay or whatever. Like that stuff makes people want to come to the con.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I totally agree.
I mean, that adds on to like what, you know, like Mark's parties, like Mark Baggett's parties and stuff that he throws. You know, people want to party when they go to Dragon Con, and they want to go to good parties. And if you got a guy who promotes good parties, you don't want to, you know, you don't want to come down on him, because then, you know, you're kind of taking away this cool party. So it's just kind of like, that's one less cool party that's going on, and that's a good draw for people. One of the reasons why they like to go, because it gets late and they want to party. Some of the people we talk to there basically go to Dragon Con to drink and party. You know, that's why they go.
A lot of people why they go.
Right. And that's not a bad reason to go. That's not a bad reason to go.
We found one guy when we were walking around who had a gun, like a gun full of alcohol, and you just like stand there and he'd like squirt the shot into your mouth.
Cool.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was good, and it was good alcohol too.
Was he the? I saw there was a guy who was a total. God, what do you call it? What was his costume?
I think he was in some kind of steampunk costume, if I remember correctly.
Okay. And it was like 2 different kinds of alcohol or something on his back.
Did he have lights on his backpack? Did they spin around? Was that
Whoa,
that guy?
guys! I was focused on getting alcohol shot into my mouth.
Okay,
I didn't notice all these details.
Sorry, we're just hung up on the costume.
We're serious.
Nerds! We're talking about alcohol.
Right.
All right.
Mike and I were too drunk to notice.
We're comparing and contrasting like our experience with the tracks and the things that we do at Dragon Con versus what you do at Dragon Con Allegra. So one of the things we do a lot is we go to a couple of different tracks. We follow some of their panels, and we go to some of their panels. So do you, as a cosplayer, do you go to any of the panels? Are there cosplay type panels, or are there any other panels that you, as just a con goer, enjoy going to, or you're like, no?
I think I've been to one panel the entire time I've been to Dragon Con. And
you
it was
ever?
Ever, yeah. And it was Patrick Stewart's like panel the maybe first or second year I was there. And it was awesome. He's a really great speaker. But aside from that, mostly like my enjoyment of Dragon Con is walking around and meeting people and seeing people and talking to people, which you can't really do if you're sitting in a panel. Now there are some fantastic costuming panels. Organic Armor was actually on one this year, and you know they do like workshops and demos and talking about how they do this, that, and the other thing. But I've never gone to those.
Okay.
Yeah, because
and that contrast. I mean, like I said, we are science podcaster panels and the skepticism panels. And again, there's podcasters that we enjoy listening to that we get to see them live. There's some interesting talks. We went to one on the podcaster track that was actually talking about getting better sound out of your podcast. We haven't done anything with that yet, but
do they have one about how to keep your Google Hangout running when someone has a bad internet connection?
No, you know what? Honestly, talking to people, all the podcasts that we talk to and everything, it's funny because when I mention what we do, and this is the people who've been podcast veterans who have like very popular shows and stuff, they're like, "Oh, really? That's interesting." Like what we're doing, not a lot of people do, and it's pretty cutting edge because there are a lot of people who do Google Hangouts, right? But what we do with like the overlay and play videos and do skits and have, you know, guests come on and all that, they're like, that sounds complicated as shit. And I'm like, well, actually, it is. We had some serious growing pains. It's a lot easier now, but that's only because we went through months. And I was telling so Mike knows Jason Elliott. I was talking to him last night actually, about a podcast I'm going to produce for him. I'm not actually going to do the podcast. Really? Yeah, I'm not going to do the podcast. I'm not going to edit it. I'm just going to put together his final product. Just make it sound and look good. Well, sound good because it's just an audio. And I was telling him about the soundboard because he was talking about putting a sound. He's like, yeah, we could probably just put a soundboard in. I was like, it ain't just. Don't even start with that. I was like,
another word again.
I told him, I was like, it took us months and months of trying to figure out how to get the damn soundboard working. And he was just like, oh, okay, so maybe we won't do that.
Just throw it in there. Just chuck it in there.
One stupid thing with one little fucking cable that can snag you up. The technical issues when you're haven't spent the 4 years to go to sound engineering school and learn the difference between mono and stereo TRS cables and da-da-da-da-da-da. You can go out of your mind like we have.
Right. So we, I told him we could do that. So when we talk to people about the video cast and the way we do it and the way we do it live, and we have, a chat room, and our chat room isn't the greatest. Mike wants to improve our chat room and everything.
Yep, I'm working on that. Anyone has any things? I think we're just basically going to have to figure out how to integrate IRC, but that's talk for another time.
But anyway,
old school.
But yeah, they were pretty impressed with that. So but we did pick up some things like when you're editing audio and stuff, like cutoff points, like high cutoff points, low cutoff point, like getting into the weeds of the technical stuff to get your sound better, was interesting. And we spent a lot of time talking to Scott about how to do promotion, because that's one of the things he does really well.
God. I felt like a baby bird under Mama's wing for that discussion.
Well, I was gonna say he actually makes money. He actually makes a decent amount of money off of his advertising for his show, and he said that he didn't make money at first, and he had to go through this whole process. Right, Mike? He was talking about like it took him 2-3 years to start making money off his advertising.
Right. Now, don't go giving away any of our secrets. This is a Dragon Con wrap-up show, not how to succeed in podcasting.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Yeah. I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying that it's a whole thing making money off a podcast if you're going to make it.
It's called gaming the system.
Right, because you can't charge people for a podcast. That ain't happening. But anyway, go ahead, Mike.
I was just getting to the point now. So we hit our different panels, and we don't need to discuss all the different ones unless before we get to the parsecs. I mean, is there anything else that you want to touch on as far as panels we hit? I mean, we always go to the Skeptics Guide to the Universe. We always go see, like usually some of the like the
Brian Brushwood's
things like that. Brian Brushwood, the Night Attack show. We always like to go see.
That was funny as shit, but not as good as last year, not as good as the NSFW show. But it was good. It was funny.
I think it was the best because I love you, Brian. No,
no, I'm just saying. I think last year's show was probably the best one he's put on that I've seen.
I think that had to do more with some planning, pre-planning and things. I don't think it had to do much with the. I think they were trying to force too much stuff in there.
Well, not only that, but they had Michael Roker on their show.
Right, but the whole show started late too. It was like a half hour late, so that can just screw everything up.
Right, that screws up your momentum and everything. Yep.
So that being said, what else do we? I mean, so. These are the kind of things we're doing like during the day and into the evening, and see, for us when we do these things, we meet up with different people that are on the panels as well, that are on other panels. We get the chance to talk to people. We've lined up so many people to be guests on the show.
Yay!
Unbelievably,
we got some good guests. Yeah. I mean,
I was going to ask you guys if you did a lot of networking while you were down there.
Networking. Okay, so. That's what we did.
80% of what we do.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what you would say?
Yeah, I would say. Because, you know what, Mike, that's a good point. Because remember, we were like, at the end of the day, we're like, what did we do today? We didn't really do a whole lot. Right? But honestly.
We made friends.
But honestly, that's what we did. We were strengthening our network. We were building a very solid network with people. Mm-hmm. Like, not just people who are saying, yeah, we'll come on the show, whatever, and like appeasing us. They were like, I have a good feeling about most of these guys that said they're going to come on, that they really will. Yeah. They'll follow through.
Right. And I mean, I would say like Allegra, I would say like for you, it's probably the same kind of a thing. Like you are doing a lot of networking as far as maybe getting some business and or just networking for different groups. Like how much do you think, like from this Dragon Con for you, how much do you think maybe you've made either business and or some future contacts for business?
Oh goodness, a lot, many. Is that one of the playing cards?
Yeah, I just had to put that up there to piss off.
What was that?
To piss off Mike.
You know what? It was on her, so I saw the little. Go back to it.
Huh? Oh,
let me see. What is it?
Oh, wait.
It's Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash. Hold on. Where I put? Oh, here we go. There you go, Mike.
Rainbow Dash in the hissing.
Just for you.
And I drink gay coffee. Okay. Anyway, so for you, is it more productive at night or during the day, Allegra?
I don't know, like networking at night's always kind of, you're always kind of like, I wonder if this person will remember this conversation the next day.
That's true.
You're just talking to the drunkest people you have ever seen in your entire life.
Oh,
Right.
that's true. Like, remember that we were going through the Marriott, and
The sticky Marriott.
we were like going through the floor, and it was like any I had a bunch of cards, and anytime I was passing by, I was almost like passing them out like that, you know.
Oh.
But once in a while, like I want to say, Savage Dragon. We ran into a Savage Dragon guy who was like amazing, and he was really cool. We would have some of the coolest conversations, just like being on a show like this and to try and promote it is fun. Now, half the people or 90% of the people we gave the cards to may have even dropped them. I'm sure that one girl did when she was all like,
Right. Frisbee.
But like for that guy, and maybe he woke up and go, oh, I don't even remember what the hell this is, but he picked his teeth with it. I don't know. But for that moment, it was like a really awesome conversation. We would have never have thought to go over to him and say something. You know, you'd be like, oh, Savage Dragon, let me get a picture with you because I like Savage Dragon, whatever. But I mean, to like really kind of go on, oh yeah, well we do a show and we really get into it and start really geeking out with people. I think it's a vehicle for us to be able to do that. I think it's only going to get better as we, you know, go to cons and keep doing this kind of thing. I'm looking forward to it.
Right? Yeah, it was good. What is the thing they do in the Marriott where they form a line of like security and they just start pushing people out? Do they clear the floors out at night? You hang out there.
Sort of.
Okay.
I don't know about usually, but this year the wall of security was actually related to some incidents in the Marriott that unfortunately necessitated wall of security.
Does this have anything to do with it?
My near-death experience? Yeah, this is it. This is it right here.
Please do, pray tell. What happened?
Okay, so we're hanging out in the Marriott. We're just like, you know, standing around chit-chatting with people. You kind of what you do is you sort of like pick a spot and then you stand there for a while and basically like half of everybody you know will come past you at some point or another. And you know, so we're just hanging out, like flagging down people we see, saying hi. And then all of a sudden, the next thing we know, like security is just like blowing whistles at us and ushering us like away from the place we were standing. And we're all just like, what was that? And people are like trying to like go around them and stuff, and they're like, no, you can't go this way. And they cleared out like this huge section of, I think it was over near the High Velocity is the eating place,
right.
The restaurant. Yeah, so we were over by High Velocity, and they just cleared us like all the way out of that. So like a third of the Marriott was kind of like closed off. They cleared people out of the Pulse Loft.
Oh, the Pulse Loft.
I've heard of that place.
I've heard of that
That's
place.
That place up there. Yeah. Right, the Pulse
and they cleared us out of the Pulse Bar, and you could pretty much only like go like from the elevators to the other side of the Marriott.
Wait a minute.
That's where the Pulse Bar is, right? Up in that loft, that's where the Pulse Bar is.
Right? No.
What?
No? I thought that's, wait a minute. No, the Pulse.
You guys are the worst with directions.
There's Pulse all the way around that thing. It says Pulse.
Right, it says Pulse. Right on it. Right on
Pulse
it.
Bar.
But my favorite was just I go over there and I'm like looking around for you guys and I'm like, are they in disguise? Are they in costume? Are they hiding somewhere? We
was hiding in the Pulse Bar.
Right.
Yeah, and then I look up and you guys you're just like looking down, like pointing at people and stuff.
What's up?
Finally.
And I'm like, there they are.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so they clear us out of that section of the Marriott, and everybody's just like, what is going on? And we hear through the grapevine, like, oh, somebody dropped a bottle, so they'll have to clear us out. I thought when they said dropped a bottle, I thought they meant like somebody was carrying a bottle and they dropped it. And it smashed on the floor, and so now it's not safe, we'll need to clear it. And I was like, okay, whatever. So fast forward a little while later, we ran into some other friends on the other side of the Marriott, and we're standing around talking, and I'm talking to my girlfriend, and I was like, hey, I hear they're like dropping bottles or whatever, like maybe we should like get under this ledge so nobody gets us. tempting fate like an idiot.
Mm.
And yeah, so then she and I are standing like we're under the kind of the outcropping, and a little while later someone starts dropping glass bottles from the I don't know what floor of the Marriott, but the way too high floor, and they just start smashing like fucking glass grenades on the ground near us.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was awesome. Fortunately, none of our group of friends was seriously hurt. One guy got some like shard in his leg or something, which he was like, it's whatever, I'll pour vodka on it. It'll be fine.
Put some Drano in it. Rub some dirt in it.
Okay. But yeah, and then after that, we all just cleared out because no one wanted to hang around the, aerial bombardment area anymore. So.
It can only be attributable to human error.
God.
Yeah, the human error of letting whoever those fucks were come into the Marriott in the first place.
Right.
There you go. There you go.
All right, Mr. Soundboard. All right, so then, so wait a minute, hold on, I think I have another, all right.
It was sad, though, because people normally, there's a lot of, like, dropping stuff in the Marriott. Like, last year, somebody dropped, like, thousands of magic cards. Not good ones, just, like, land, water, terrain, I don't know.
Right.
Like, really, like, lame magic cards. But they just came, like, fluttering down, everyone's like, and then, you pick it up and you're like, this is a crap card.
All right. Oh,
That was like 1 in a million. Might have been a foil.
Right.
Yeah, really. And then people dropped beach balloons earlier, so like they're throwing down beach balls and everyone's like hitting them, and it's like one big party.
That's
and
fun.
then people are dropping glass bottles, which was the worst.
So you didn't pass those around? You didn't?
Yeah, no, we didn't try to catch them.
So in other words, the term dropping bottles in the club, that's a different...
Okay, first of all, never do that again.
Stop it.
All right, I won't.
So
bad.
it's terrible. All right, so anyway.
When was the last time you went to a club?
With the fur.
Speaking of that, we went to a club at Dragon Con. So if you were at the Marriott and you were going down towards the Hilton, and you make
where's the Hilton?
Yeah, right. So and you make a right.
Toward
right,
the
street that's
store.
between the two, where the liquor store and the gyro place is. So if you make a right there and go past the liquor store gyro place, on the left-hand side is a club. And our buddy Mark Baggett, who was throwing a party with Moshi, remember the show we did just a couple weeks ago?
Moshi.
We went to their party and filmed. We got in there before the party started. We did some filming, and then once the party started, we got in there and we went through and filmed a whole bunch of people dancing and stuff and got into the...
How was it?
It was fucking smoking. It was a off the hook party. It was really
Best
cool.
Party ever.
They had these girls that were mostly naked, painted as Street Fighter characters. So they did body paint.
They were body painting.
That's awesome.
And they were dancing on tables, and so we had a bunch of, I don't know, 4 of them, three, 4 of them.
3 or 4, and the waitresses were dressed up and stuff.
Right, and then they had a guy in like is it Liu Kang? Oh no, Raiden. Guy dressed as Raiden sitting on a table, and they had some kind of auction or something going on, and it was cool. He was sitting there, and he's just sitting there like this, and he had the white contacts in, and it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was creepy. And then you go around to this one part, and there was like the big dance floor, and they're playing music, and they had formed one of those circles, and people were getting in and doing like crazy dance maneuvers and stuff.
Dance off. There was a chick who was doing the hula hoop dancing with these like lit lighted.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Lit the hula hoops.
And she was doing an awesome job. I mean, she was a good-looking girl. I'll put it that way. Nice-looking young lady. Right.
And there was another young lady who was booty popping.
Right.
Working it very nicely.
There might have been some twerking.
Yes.
No, she was dressed in like...
Could you guys sound any whiter?
Right, exactly.
Well, I don't know if we're really trying hard, but I guess when we talk like this...
There was the twerking. No. Booty popping. No, it was pretty badass. And then the DJ, so Mike's in the DJ. This is funny. So Mike's in the DJ booth, right?
And I was friendlier with the DJ earlier, and he was cool with me. I came up in the booth, but go ahead.
We told him we were gonna come up in the booth and shoot like while he was in the booth from like over his shoulder. So he knew we were coming in. So Mike gets in there and he's filming. The guy's doing his thing, spinning not records anymore.
Spinning those discs.
Things, right? Anyway, so all of a sudden, and Mike's in there. He's in there for like 2-3 minutes filming. Everything's going great.
I have the camera is sitting on like this tripod, but the tripod is like it's disengaged. So I'm holding the camera like kind of off to the end of it, and I have it turned to the side. So I'm leaning over to get as a.
So he's getting like a nice good shot in there.
Yeah. It was down in perspective, so you literally would be seeing it like eye to eye, seeing his equipment and stuff, and his hands moving. And I'm doing that for a while, and I haven't moved, and I'm just shooting, and all of a sudden, because I'm like reaching, can I reach a little more? Can I reach a little more? And all of a sudden, the whole disc, the DJ booth, boom, power goes down, everything goes dark, and I'm like, oh shit!
Did I
do that?
Right. Oh no!
I didn't, evidently, thankfully.
But Mike is standing there like, I can't take off because if I take off, then they're going to assume that
If I run, they'll think I did it right. So I'm just sitting there like, what's going on? He's like, nah, it's all right. It's all right. And he's like rebooting something and plugging it back in. And I think he knew what was going on. It was like a power. Let's just say, I've seen dominatrixes with less equipment to be plugged in, okay? He has, there were boards and all this different stuff plugged in. Oh, did I just say something I shouldn't have with dominatrix?
Anyway,
there was a lot of stuff plugged in.
But what was cool was that he saved himself. And the crowd wasn't – it was funny, too, because the crowd was, really – it's a fun-loving crowd. So, at first they were all like, oh, and then they all started kind of singing their own thing, right? And they just kind of kept the beat going. They're like, ooh, ooh, or whatever the hell they were doing, right? They were doing something. But they basically kind of made their own music on the floor until he got it going again. And he goes,
oh, nice.
And he's like, all right, I got it up now. He's like, I don't know, something went down. He's like, it's not my fault. He's like, but I'll tell you what, I made a special mix for tonight. And he went right into that mix. It was pretty good save.
And then the power went off again. But I wasn't anywhere near anything. I was in the booth still because I was kind of like, is it okay for me to run now? Should I? When is the best time for me to just sort of slink away? And so as I was about to slink away, the power went off again. I'm like, all right, I know it wasn't me this time, so I feel good about that. But at the same time now, I'm standing there, and here comes some club manager guy, and he's like, let me see what this is. I'm going to fix this. And he's like, get out of here. And I'm like, okay.
I'm out. And we managed to we went to go in this back room, and we had no idea what this back room was. It was just a back room where there was a bunch of people sitting, and it's not like you can't see in there because there's a big glass window that you can see in there. But apparently there's a VIP area, and this ginormous black guy is standing at the doorway, and he goes, "Y'all, like a Marcellus Wallace." He's like, "Y'all can't go in there." I'm like, I was like,
and you were like, yeah, but see, we're media. We're covering the party.
Right. We're
y'all can't go in there.
Y'all can't go in there. I was like,
care what you doing.
Right. Exactly. It's one of those things. I don't give a fuck what you are, Timbuktu.
You shove your camera up your ass.
Right. So we wound up talking to Mark and Moshe, and they talked to each other, and they're like, yeah, you can go in there. But they were like, they said, there's celebrities in there, so you don't talk to anybody. Basically, don't stop and talk to anyone. Just make your rounds and come out.
Stop and go, hey, it's you!
Right.
You! Can I have your autograph? Hey, can we interview you?
I'm going to be totally honest. I didn't recognize a single fucking person in that room.
And I told you who I think I saw, and I know it was who I saw, and it made sense.
And it wasn't in the VIP room, though. You saw him out.
Yes, it was.
Oh, I thought you saw him out on the floor.
No, when we walked, and as a matter of fact, I think we may have the footage. I don't know if I'd have really included it or not, but I don't even think he'd really care, because they were kind of like, there are some people in here who probably don't want anybody to be known that they're here, and you're talking about hosts of a party. They want to protect people's anonymity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all. So, Well, we walked in. They said, go in, just film, do a circle, film it, and show people the room and whatever, and then come back out. So that's what we did. But as I walk in, and I'm not gay, but I'm a big Once Upon a Time fan. And so I know.
How are those two things correlated?
Because I know Grumpy when I see him. Okay? And I fucking, as I'm looking through the camera and I'm filming, I'm like, that's fucking, because this guy's just like looking, he's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, that's fucking Grumpy. I'm watching Grumpy on TV, but I'm filming it. What?
Right.
And I just kept going like, hey, how you doing? I kept going, and I'm like, yeah, that was fucking Grumpy. That was kind of cool. You know, so I blew up his spot.
So when we cut the video for the party, we can't use the music from the party because we have different scenes at different times, so you can't line the music up. So we're gonna have to lay down a track and just match up people doing their thing to whatever we lay on there. But here's the problem: if we use like a known song, you know, YouTube is gonna ding us, right? And I don't know how bad they care, because I see videos on YouTube all the time with other people's music, and they're not by those bands or the companies, they're by just people. So I honestly don't think they give too much of a shit. They
Maybe
just don't
we'll
want
actually
you
have to identify the song that's playing, and we may have to actually do some research and go, hey, what is your fair use, you know what I mean? And because remember, we're not concerned, especially with Mark's video, we're not concerned if we don't monetize it. So if they're fine and they say, no, we wouldn't come after you, and YouTube is just like, you're not going to monetize it, and we're like, nope, and then we may be okay, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's something we got to figure out. The other option is we put whatever the hell we want on it, and we just put it on the Studio 187 website and don't give a fuck, because someone would have to actually come to that site, but then it's not a YouTube video. It would just be a video I would upload to the site. So it's who knows? We'll figure it out.
Bullshit.
But I think it's going to be a fucking awesome video, because we got some really good footage of people, you know, partying and having a good time.
Like Allegra, I had footage where I put the camera up on the the tripod, and I have it facing down, and I'm like, so you're seeing these people like basically have dance-offs and stuff in the circle, like you're looking from above, right? And then I got lucky enough. I didn't know this was going to happen, but at another point, like, some people cleared away, and I went right up to the front of the circle, and I got on my knees, and now I'm getting it from the ground, and I'm getting the same kinds of people dancing and doing the same thing. So it's going to be really cool to get, like, some, you know, different, you know, perspective shots and stuff. I'm really looking forward to how this is
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna
I rely on DragonCon videos to show me all the stuff that I missed while I was at the convention.
Yeah, it was a good
party. That's why we go, you know, like we cover it so that you can just, you know, hang out with little cosplayers, and then we'll just fill you in on the rest.
Right. So that was DragonCon this year. It was a good time. All right, so let's real quick, because we're coming up on a little over an hour, and I think this show shouldn't be too much longer. Yeah. So,
okay, wait. I have one question before you start wrapping up, though. Allegra, you told us like your hellacious story. Pete, do we have like this was the worst part of DragonCon? Like, you know, in years past, we've had, you know, you had more of that than I did. So whatever.
You had what? What was that noise?
Okay, Mike, go ahead, wrap that. Why don't you tell your story from last year, but like really short, like the super uber condensed version.
There is a phenomenon, especially with you know, people that have thighs that may or may not rub together more than normal, especially when they're a little agitated, if they've been walking more than normal, and they may not have been wearing underwear. Let's just say, suppose we're setting up the whole thing.
Let's suppose you got a fat guy at a convention who's walking around everywhere with no underwear on. Just think about that. So that. Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
Well, you're gonna have to, because it was all around you, and all these guys have burning thighs.
Not just guys; the ladies get it too.
That's true.
I really did not know this issue.
What I like to call chub rub. So, I got this one year really bad. All right, and I'm not proud. And you can look on some other. I don't know. Is that video still up anywhere?
It's not a video. It's audio. It is. It's up on our website. If you go to studio187.com and you go to the Con Men and you do our DragonCon coverage from last year, it's in episode 4.
Lucky me. So yeah, I'll take one for the team if you want to go see it. But the whole story about my whole diatribe about that and the experience and with journeys and anyway, so I didn't have any of that this year. I was good, you know. But raise your hand if maybe you had a little bit there. You.
I didn't know. No,
you said you had some.
No, not chub rub because I don't have the chub to rub. But I was getting a little bit of agitation from walking around a lot.
Oh yeah, because there's a difference.
What? No. I didn't have I did not get rashy. I was just getting a little uncomfortable. I was just like, God, I'm like hot and fucking sweaty, and it's just gross and.
Oh, it's like a pre-rash.
Yeah. So. I know this is real pleasant to talk about, right?
Pete made up this noise. It's like the rubbing of the back and forth of the rubbing. So that's what that comes from.
Right.
Oh.
Anyway, it's a whole thing.
Up to speed on that.
Poor Mike, he was miserable, and I had no idea because he hadn't said anything to me, right? So this was when
like Vaseline your legs or something.
Well, this is. Last year, almost every year. This year, I didn't do any of it, but almost every year, I'll run a couple role-playing games because I work with TriTac Games and we try to promote it. So I'll run a couple
Bruce
TriTac.
Part of the or the gaming track too. So
right, and Bruce, the guy we stay with down there, he's part of the gaming track and part of TriTac. So he and I usually try and run some games for that. I was running a game, and Mike had gone off to do his thing because he didn't want to hang out there, rightfully so, understandable. And I didn't know they had this god awful miserable experience. And he shows up, and I'm like, "Hey man, you want to get something to eat?" You know, I'm all cheerful and stuff, and he's just like, "Yeah, about that." And I didn't know there's this. You gotta listen to this episode. It's like an hour-long story. There's so much to it.
It was funny.
It's a comedy of errors. I mean, like he got hungry and went to get something to eat, and that didn't work out. And he's walking. He
just go listen to the episode, okay?
So funny.
Listen, I didn't mean for this to go so far off the rails. Right. I just said we didn't have anything like that this year.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
But was there anything that you can think of other than maybe a few getting lost in here and there? But, you know, do we have any like, oh, this was the worst part of Dragon Con?
No, actually, I think we're getting pretty seasoned. I can't think of anything that was miserable. The only thing, and this is minor, we went to the Mama Ninfa's and had dinner, or lunch dinner thing.
So early dinner. Yeah.
And we both ate so much that we found like an empty room, and we just, and I'm not going to say their room because it's our secret.
No, that's our secret room of solitaire.
Right, like if you get overwhelmed at Dragon Con, it's too hot or whatever, we found it's a nice big room, it's full of chairs. We go in there and we can sit and cool off and get away from everybody.
Just out of the 3 hotels, which one is that though?
It's in the one where nobody goes to apparently because it has an empty room.
It's not the unpopular one.
Oh, that's too far to walk.
So anyway, we're sitting in there, right? And we're both we're just like, oh, I ate too much.
And we drank too, so we were kind of like
a little drunk.
We had food hangovers, we had liquor hangovers, and we were just like, and it's like 8 o'clock, and we're like, fuck.
So we hung out for a little bit, and then we recovered and went back. But that's the only thing. That wasn't a big deal. Because
I mean, like, we didn't get in any fights. We didn't like have spats, or I didn't really get on your nerves overly too much.
Ooh, that's a good question. Before we wrap up, one last thing, because you and I, he and I will argue like on trips and stuff. Take a long trip together, we get on each other's nerves.
Like a married couple, I swear.
Right. Just like it. Speaking of that, though, I mean, like, how do you and Matt get along on these trips? Like, do you guys ever snap at each other or get agitated with one another?
We usually do pretty decently. It used to be that generally, like, the trip down, we'd both be, like, very chipper and fine, and then the trip back up, one of us would say something, and then it turned into this, like, well, I guess, you know, fighting with each other is a good way to kill, like, 3 hours of this trip. But we've gotten better about that. But then this year on the way down, we're both, like, we're already tired.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we'd been finishing commissions for other people and our own costumes, and Matt was working. So, we were already like kind of zonked and stressed and not eating and just the whole 9 yards. And so we're like driving down, and I don't even remember how far into the trip this was. We got into an argument about a fictional alien race that Matt was writing about, whether or not they were biologically and evolutionarily like soundly designed. And he was like insistent that he had come up with this concept correctly, and I was insistent that he'd done it completely wrong. And
I want you to put a pin in that. I think that would be an awesome thing to geek out on another show though. Seriously, like, I don't know, maybe he wants to come on too and we can have a discussion about that. We can geek out on it. I think that would be cool to talk about because Pete and I love, talking about shit like that.
Can we get a biologist of some sort so I can be proven correct?
Yes.
I think we could arrange that.
I think we can arrange that.
Yes.
There you go. You know what? When we have John Smart on, John Smart. Yeah. When we have John Smart on, he's a biologist.
Okay.
And he's one of the guys that has agreed to come on our show. He actually works up here at Hopkins, which, if you've never heard of Hopkins, it's like a kind of a world.
Oh, well, gee, we didn't mean to offend you. I mean, come on, it's just Hopkins.
We don't have to. We don't have to do it.
Someone from University of Maryland.
Wait.
Hopkins.
It's
the last thing I heard.
So anyway,
if you don't like Hopkins, we'll get someone else.
So anyway, yeah, it's kind of a famous hospital, whatever, blah blah blah. He works there I think in their infectious disease area, maybe. But he's a biologist, so when he comes on, we'll do that. We'll have Matt come on, and
that'll be a good.
He can answer us. That'll be fun.
We had a secondary argument about when we were coming up with. We were trying to fan cast like a fictional like Mass Effect movie, the video game. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to come up with who would be Commander Shepard if they went with like the female Shepard.
Mm-hmm.
And I suggested Gina Torres, who played Zoe in Firefly, who I thought would be fantastic. And Matt confused her with Michelle Rodriguez. And so I'm like, wouldn't Gina Torres be awesome? And he's like, I mean, she's kind of from the streets. And I was like, you did not. And so then that was another, discussion, and until we sorted out that he actually thought that she was a completely different person.
I love those arguments where you're actually having two different arguments. Like you don't realize it. Like you're arguing one thing, and the other person is arguing something else.
I was so mortally offended. I was like, Did you just say Gina Torres seems like she's from the streets? Like, you uncultured swine. I swear to God, I'm going to grab this steering wheel and crash the car and put us both out of our misery.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. What's wrong with you?
That's funny. Yeah. So, in years past, Mike and I have gotten into some, we don't get into we just snap at each other. We don't get into the big arguments, we don't. It's not really a fight. It's just kind of like, well, fuck you, like that. I mean, it's basically
learning how to not take out our frustrations on each other. It's not your fault that I had chub rub.
Our counselor has.
I feel like
use your I statement, boys.
Oh my God. And this year,
talk about how that made you feel.
And this year, I was in this store and I was buying little travel stuff to put in my travel bag, and I saw a little travel thing of baby powder. So I got it from Mike.
I didn't even need it.
No.
But who had to buy powder for somebody?
Oh, my feet. Yeah.
Oh, your feet.
No, I'm not even gonna get into it, but I needed some powder for my feet.
You need some medicated foot powder.
I did. I love. We're talking about all the stuff you don't talk about on a show.
All right, so
that is so gross, guys.
Right?
We are off the rails.
And
he's gone.
And she's all off the track.
It's just foot powder. I didn't say blue ball cream. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Pete's feet scared me away.
Right.
So is there anything else, Pete, where you were talking about wrapping up before we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up.
Wait, why don't you say what was your favorite thing about Dragon Con this year? Like your favorite memory or something?
Yeah. Favorite memory.
I have a really good one.
Do I have anything super in particular? I would have to say, Mike, that when we walked into the Star Party and like it was just like this kind of like coming home kind of thing, and the whole kumbaya feel because the podcaster, the guy PG Holyfield that passed away, his like untimely death brought a lot of people, like, I don't know, kind of brought them all together. Really, it was like a huge like sense of community, and everybody, you could feel it. It was like in the room, everybody was like really friendly, and just, I don't know, it was just, that whole crew was just, I don't know, it was a really good, like, it was like a kumbaya weekend. I think that whole thing was good.
Yep. And for me, I would say that, and also not being able to see who, one of my favorite podcasters, Brian Brushwood, because he is so just, his career is taking off. He's actually been recording a television show, and he could barely get to Dragon Con. He was only able to make 2 appearances, and one of them was supposed to be the Parsecs, and he couldn't even make it because of filming. He couldn't make it until like the end of the Parsecs.
Oh shit, the Parsecs! We didn't talk about the Parsecs.
Oh my God, that's right. We lost.
We won, guys.
Right. No, we lost. Nothing. Enough said. And
yeah, Pete, we were talking about happy moments at Dragon Con. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. No, I was happy. I was happy to be there. I'm happy. I'm happy we got nominated.
I actually was. It's just to be able to sit there and go, oh my God, 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 they could really call our name. That in itself is like a rush. It really is a rush. And
I'll admit I was disappointed, but at the same time I was just kind of like, but that's cool, Yeah.
I heard we lost to worthy opponents.
We did. They were good. No, they were really good.
And so, all right, just seeing Brian walk in the room, and he was talking to a couple of people, and then I was like, should I go over and say something to him or not? And not out of he wouldn't talk to me, but out of just, I know he's super busy, and I'm at this point, I don't have any business with him. It would just literally just be like, hey man, how you been? But as he was wrapping up talking to someone, he just caught my eye gaze, and he, again, almost like Scott did earlier at the Star Party, was just like, hey man, how you doing? And I walked over to him, and we had a really nice, genuine conversation. He remembers me every year. He remembers the the interview that we had, when we do have that still up on MythWits, I believe, too, right, from last year.
We do, yep.
And and it's just to catch up with him, and he was giving us some great advice, and we actually were able to talk to him and his wife even kind of like a little bit longer. He was actually supposed to be leaving, but he was genuinely having a good time talking to us. You could tell he wanted to be there, even though his friends were like, all right, we're all going to the restaurant. He's like, oh yeah, we'll be right there, And he spent another like 5 or 10 minutes, and his wife Bonnie, and genuinely we had a very good, kind of cool conversation with them. And Brian Brushwood is just a genuinely great guy. If you don't know him, or just please check him out. He's got Scam School, he's on Night Attack, but
he's also got a show coming on, what is it, Discovery Channel, or is it
it's going to be Nat Geo. It's called Gaming the System.
Gaming the System, yeah.
So
you'll be able to see him on the TV.
No, the telebox.
Right.
And for me that was kind of a highlight, only again because I said, the genuineness. I mean, just like embrace, give me a hug. How you been? And it's just like, wow, it's not just like I'm treating you like a fan. Oh, hi, how have you been? I remember you. I see you all the time. It's more like it was good.
With Jay, we had a great conversation with Jay from the Skeptic's Guide.
With Jay, and also with Bob from the Skeptic's Guide.
Oh, and Bob, we hung out with Bob for a bit, yeah.
So all of our networking and stuff, but I guess that was our thing. What was yours? Did you say what your highlight was?
Oh no, I'm hoping my camera will unfreeze because I can't tell if it's seeing me or not.
Yeah,
we can hear you, so don't worry. You don't look like a dork like I usually do when mine freezes. So
God, it usually catches me like mid blink with my mouth open.
Right.
Hang on, I want it to unfreeze because there's a little, visual aspect to my favorite memory. Oh well.
Crap! Can you dodge out and jump back in?
I might be able to. Hang on.
So while she's
I'm working on it.
That's fine. So while she's doing that, we're going to talk right after this. We're going to talk about our lineup of guests that we got coming up, because we've got. I mean, they're not confirmed yet, but they're people that we've talked to who said that they would like to come on.
Well, pretty much everyone we just mentioned about anyone that we see on the show, and also some other artists and stuff. But I mean, I don't know. Do you want to do that now? Talk about that now, or do we just save it?
We can talk about it now.
Tick, 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 tick,
We
tick.
had
I'm gonna
right,
get
so we
your
got
tick, tick.
Jay Novella, Skeptic's Guide. He said he's going to come on. Brian Brushwood said he's going to come on. Mike Stackpole.
Yeah.
If you don't know him, he's written a bunch of Star Wars novels. He was done a lot of like Dungeons and Dragons work. He was one of the guys that advocated for Dungeons and Dragons back in the day when Dungeons and Dragons was being demonized and parents were burning, D&D books of kids.
There we go.
There we go. All right, so go ahead, Allegriana.
Again. Did I hear you say that I don't know who Mike Stackpole is?
No, some people don't.
Okay.
But do you know who Mike? You know who he is, right?
I do know who he is.
Yeah, he's going to be a guest on our show.
Yay!
Yay. So,
normally I just hassle him at conventions, and now I can do it on the internet too.
right. Yeah, he said that he'd be happy to come on. He's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, nice fella, nice fella. Okay, so my favorite part of Dragon Con was when we were at the Maleficent shoot, which was super fun. There was a ton of Maleficents out there, including a Maleficent, which was a guy dressed up in the Maleficent stuff. He looked great. He did
See that coming.
He did a nice job with it. And so there's all these Maleficents out there, and we're all standing around and being evil, except everybody was actually super nice. Like they're like, oh my gosh, I love your dress, and then like someone would be like, try to take a picture, and everyone's like instant like bitch face. But while we were there, there's all these like people like wandering around, walking around. We're outside the Hyatt, so there's like lots of people just happening to like walk through the area, and there's this family there, and the little girl, it's mom, dad, and little girl, and the little girl is kind of like staring my sister down. My sister's also doing a Maleficent costume.
Okay.
She's like staring at my sister, and my sister finally just sort of like, and the little girl just like looks at her and holds her arms up for a hug, and I was like,
oh
my
wow.
God. Like, you could see everybody's heart grow 3 sizes. It was the cutest goddamn thing.
Right.
And so my sister like gave her a hug, and like her parents took like a billion pictures. It was precious.
Sweet.
And I just had warm fuzzies all over after that. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is what it's all about, guys.
Yeah, I could totally see that, because like when my daughter when we took her to Disney, right? She was all about the characters, meeting all the princesses and getting her book signed and all that kind of stuff. So I can see that kids, because they're young and they don't see the big gap between. It's not to them. They may even know that it's a person in a costume, but for them, it's just much more real, and it's really cool. Like I saw, Mike, we were there, I think it was last year, and somebody was dressed as Brave, or as, what's her name? Merida, dressed as Merida. And she bends down, and the little girl is talking to her, and the girl is just, this little, like, 5-year-old girl is, like, totally just completely into this. And... And she's, and she's doing the whole Merida voice and stuff, and she's like, yeah, you want to grow up and listen to your parents and blah 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 blah, and give her the whole thing. And she's like, and the little girl's like, I will. It was just super cute, really super cute. So anyway, that's awesome.
That's about that time.
I'm sorry, Mike. Have we not thawed your heart out yet?
Little girls, and I have 3 sons. Okay, so if it's not something that kills or can be killed or stinks, they don't
or is
care.
slimy, or
I've seen little boys geek out over costumes just as much.
Sure.
Oh my God, it's Iron Man!
Right, that's what I'm saying. But I don't think they would really like be all like Brave. You can't go to my site. Even if Iron Man was like, be good and listen to your son, or listen to your dad, and my dad would be, or my son would be like, did you put him up to this?
Right. Well, they are your kids.
I don't know where they. I don't know where they get their jaded sense of life. I don't.
No idea where you get that.
Maybe
So what?
they've been
What they,
exposed to My Little Pony.
That's Pete. That's Peter.
But at the same time, like there was a lot of good stuff. Like that party Mark was throwing was fucking crazy. It was good.
Yeah.
It was a good party. Good music. DJ was really fantastic.
Could you imagine if we took some of the people that we cross over in, and we actually brought them into some of that stuff that we do too?
That would be fun. Yeah, grab a hold of like Scott and Anne's like, come on, we're going to a party.
Yeah.
Let's go have some fun. Let's go get crazy. All right, so
we're gonna wrap this up in a little
Yeah, I thought he was yawning because he was tired, which I am.
Yeah, I am tired too.
I am tired, but I thought, the whole.
So guess we got
girls.
like I said, Mike Stackpole. Scott said he's going to come on, of course. Jay Novella of the Skeptic's Guide. We got.
If you're
Brian
a fan
Brush.
of Ren and Stimpy, Bob Camp, I actually
Camp.
had the balls to go up to him and ask him to be on the show, so we're going to get in touch with him.
So Bob Camp and Thundercats, and what else was it? What else did he do? He did a bunch of stuff. I mean, this guy's got a list of.
It's like, oh my god, he's coming on our show, and he's got ADD just like me, so it's going to be great.
He's the kind of guy that the two guys that we interviewed this past week, Joe Kelly and Duncan Rollo. Anyway, so he's the kind of guy that those two guys look up to. So it's awesome. He should be good. He should be good, and he's old and he's funny. And
he'll have 1,010,000,000 stories.
Right,
I'm telling you, go, all right, talk, and that's it. He'll just we'll just go,
yeah, all right, yeah. Oh, and
hopefully,
yeah. And then anyone else I can think of that was good? I don't know. We got a whole list of people. We got Did Justin Robert Young? Did he say he would come on?
I know we'll be able to get him to come on too. Look, all those guys like to geek out. When we tell them, look, we're just a show. We like to have fun. We geek out. We talk a little bit about what you do, and we have fun. We just they're probably more so just like I do this show, this and that. Check it out. They're not. It's not like we're gonna be like, oh, so tell us about the history of how you did this and that. When they might tell a little bit, but after that, it's just gonna be like, who would win in a fight, Captain America or Destro? You know what I mean? And they'd have more fun talking about that.
Jonathan Strickland.
Yes, Jonathan Strickland. Who is a podcaster? He's a podcast from what is it? Things You Know or No? What is it called?
I don't know. It's wait a minute. Hold on. I got it right here.
Well, actually, it's part of Discovery. The Discovery Network bought his stuff. But,
How Stuff Works.
How Stuff Works. Thank you. It's a stuff something.
So that's it. We did a lot of networking. Going to get a lot of good guests. So in the next couple months, you're going to see some really good guests roll through the show. To be some interesting stuff. And I'm telling you, when Jay Novella comes on, that is going to be a fucking awesome show.
Fun.
Jay is fucking smart and funny. He is a witty, funny dude. Yeah. So he's going to be good. Him, and if we can get Brian on here, he's probably going to take the show over. He's one of those guys that will sit back while he does his thing with our show.
and he's handsome. He's cute.
He's a good looking guy. You'll like him.
Good looking guy.
He's got some candy for you there, Allegra. But that's it. So let's wrap this show up. We'll see you all
at the con.
No. Stop. So we'll see you all next week. I do not have a guest lined up yet, so I'm going to try and do this. Oh my God, I got to do it from Germany. So
give me. I'll include me. Get in touch with me. Maybe I can try and help you with that too. So.
All right. Maybe we'll get one of our. Well, no. You know what? No, I got two people who wanted to come on in September. I'll hit them up because I'll have email and internet access and stuff. I'll hit them up and see if I can get one of those on. And then why don't you start working on getting start lining up Jay or somebody like that.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Good night, John boy. Let's kill this, and we'll see you all later. So I'm gonna run the closer.
You've just enjoyed the MythWits. Join us for a live broadcast next week and every week, Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you miss our live show, you can always catch the encore episodes and the podcast version at our website and on iTunes. Make sure to check out our website at mythwits.com, and of course visit us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and iTunes. MythWits is a Studio187.com production and is protected under an attribution, non-commercial, no derivatives, Creative Commons work. You can download and share it with whoever you like. Just don't change it and don't try to make money with it. Make sure to check out Studio187.com for more cool stuff. See you next week.